Alright, and welcome to Trail of Cthulhu.
We're actually starting this time?
We're actually starting this time.
Like I said, we talk over you.
Yeah, that's fine. This is
Yeah,
the Eternal...
I waited.
Yeah, you waited, that's fine. Alright, so this is the Eternal Lies campaign. So this is a fun-looking one where the actual campaign book is thicker than the rule book. So I've been looking forward to this. I backed this at Kickstarter like 7 years ago, and we're actually getting around to it. Woohoo! Not like we don't have a backlog at all.
It was this or Flying Circus, and we decided to go with something a lot better written.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, we didn't mention the ones we decided to not go with.
Yeah.
Unless we discard.
Yeah. So, the year is 1937. It's New England, America. And you are all sitting in the back of your own limousine. It's night time. It's full moon. Yeah, you're kind of driving around the road. You know, you're picked up by a rather quiet driver. You know, well dressed, but you know, not really talkative. And as you're driving down a road, you kind of see like lights kind of appearing in front or behind you as you kind of and realise you're in a train of similar-looking limousines heading towards a certain place.
Convoy.
Yep, you're in a convoy. So it's dark. You know, all you've got is the lights of the other cars and your own car. And then ahead, you kind of see more lights on the horizon as, you know, you arrive at an airfield. The cars will all pull up into kind of like a parking line, and, you know, men will get out and open the doors with like, smart velvet gloves on and kind of almost simultaneously kind of point you towards the hangar. So, first thing you'll notice about the hangar is that there seems to be a small library in the corner and a woman sitting there waiting for you. You've all got an idea what this is. Most of you will have got a letter. But as you kind of walk over, Janet Winston Rogers will greet you all.
I love how the loading screen says summoning.
That's great.
Very appropriate.
This is the 30s.
That's great.
This is the 30s. I start smoking immediately after getting out of the car.
Yep, that's fine. No one even comments. She's probably smoking already.
It's the 30s.
We're all smoking.
In the car is kind of concerning.
I wasn't smoking in the car.
Yeah. So
I was. It was my car.
As you approach the hangar, it's a kind of strange compromise. You've got this lovely plush sitting area. It's got rugs. It's got books. It's got a writing desk. And then the rest of the hangar is kind of Spartan with whatever you'd expect a normal hangar to have. There's a plane in there with a man who's doing like preparation work on it. And she'll just kind of like, welcome. Please, take a seat.
We will sit down.
In the one apparent chair.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
We're related, right, Dre?
Well, sorry? Yeah, you're
I'm related to Mrs. Rogers, right? Some
You're
kind of a
related
fifth
to-
cousin or something?
Yeah, something like that.
All right. I will, of course, greet her in the classic Italian way. Cousin, good to see you. I see you've got a crew together.
Gatto. Yes. And I see you were turned up even though you were specifically not invited.
You need a pilot.
I have a pilot. I have Frank.
You need a better pilot. Besides, I was bored.
Yes,
And-
that's kind of what I thought it was.
This is where we
Should I just
introduce
send
ourselves.
Frank home? So, you know Frank Kearns is the family pilot. He's worked for Winston Rogers. Well, Winston's her father for many years. He's been a family pilot. He's nowhere up to your standards of flying, of course, but he's a decent pilot.
Quite a few split S's and...
Well, if you
Loopbacks.
can't afford to wreck a few airplanes, you can't really get good at flying. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Has been invented yet.
All right,
Hasn't
so
been named yet.
We can always keep him as a co-pilot if you want to, but
So, before we get into the reason I've called you here, I think it would be good for a quick round of introductions. You've all, with the exception of my cousin here, been invited here to perform a job. My cousin has, in his own style, invited himself. Feel free to leave him somewhere. He'll find his own way back. He'll be fine. The rest of you, I have a job. But for now, I would like you to, if we go around these 10 people introduce themselves. So we must do left to right as normal. So, Savannah, you're up first.
Well, now, see... No, sorry, I can't do that for the entire session.
No, don't you dare.
It was tempting, I'm not going to lie. So, Detective Jimmy Dalton, as he will always be called, is a pretty archetypal weather-beaten Boston cop. He's got the whole deal, leather overcoat, slightly worn necktie. He's a Boston police detective. He was brought onto the case, presumably because he was the last guy to say no to the letter that was delivered to the local station. And yeah, he is probably one of the... I mean, it makes sense for a police detective to be here in a certain sense, but yeah.
He
What
is
the hell he's doing with all of this, guys?
a stereotype wrapped up in an Agatha Christie novel.
I mean, yeah.
He's in the wrong
I was
camp.
trying to think of an American contemporary to Agatha Christie all of a sudden, but I can't. But yes, let's go with that for now.
I guess she was famous enough. She was pretty much world famous by this point.
True, yeah.
Tracy? It's the right era.
True.
890, so she's somewhere in her 40s now.
This is what happens when we play historical games, people. We
Yeah, we
get distracted.
We get distracted by actual history.
Likely.
But yeah, he's a fairly tall and stocky chap, naturally a well-groomed moustache, which he takes about pride in. That's him.
Next man in line is Herbert West. Tall, thin, lean, mostly emotionless. A man with doctorates from Princeton, Yale, Cambridge. Doesn't say much. Keeps himself slightly separate from the rest of the group. More interested in the books that are around than interacting with anybody else. A top scientist in his fields.
All right.
A man who is currently nursing his cigarette as if it was his one lifeline to nicotine poisoning. Fortunato Montesquieu. You know from a... No, I have Montesquieu. Or Montrese. Fortunato Montrese. You know it's an assumed name because who names somebody off of two characters out of a Edgar Allan Poe novel? He is a man wearing a... What was that, Blade?
Squeak.
He's a man of he's a man of thin hair and a cheap suit.
Okay, yeah, no, it's definitely Edgar Allan Poe's dead already.
Yeah, Poe's dead. He has to die sometime. You can notice one thing, that he has very thick sleeves and around his wrists, and that is everything you can tell about him. Gato?
Right.
Oh, are we letting Gato go last because he's not supposed to be here?
Yeah, we'll skip over and we'll do Gato last.
Gato starts introducing himself and is immediately interrupted by Tellus. He goes back to his brandy and his cigar.
Pharmacist mate second class Tullius Ledford, who is a veteran of the First World War, is currently giving his, I guess, what's the term when you're telling someone you're sad their relative is dead?
Bereaved?
Condolences?
Condolences, that's it. Thank you. He's currently giving his condolences to our host. He is a medic, a military doctor who served in the First World War, as I said, the Great War. And he's assuming he's been brought on for reasons relating to the demise of her father.
She hasn't told us about that just yet, but sure, let's go ahead.
She would have told you in letters, so it's fine.
Okay.
As well.
Okay, Arbitus Tobin. He's kind of a skinny man, very energetic, walks around shaking everyone's hand, telling them, "Oh, I've just made this wonderful discoveries about the paranormal, and I'm going to research ectoplasm, and I'm going to write a book about it. It's going to be the definitive guide to spirit.
Wait, are you the author or
Wait,
the
sniffs at him.
parapsychologist?
Author.
Okay.
He's really looking forward to getting his spirit guide written. Right. Alright, and now Gatto can get a word in edgeways.
I'm Gatto Capello. I happen to have several airplanes and will be flying you halfway across the country. Ugh. I also have several other things in our aircraft, just in case we happen to need them.
There's not any girls in there again, is there? Janet asked. Okay, just ignore me. That's fine. We know what happened last time. Alright. Everyone still hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
It went very quiet on my end and I got getting a bit
Yep.
worried.
We were doing that thing that we don't do often, which is listen.
Yes.
There.
Alright.
Look, this is a actual written module. We have to pick out the where the information is.
Yeah. So, as I said to you in my letter, my father passed away late last year, and I have always been interested in a period of his past. My father was always a driven man. He made his fortune in the pharmaceuticals during the war, and spent a few years travelling the world studying folklore. That led to an interest in the occult. He was bent on battling something, but he wouldn't tell us what it was. My mother and I watched it get more distant, travel more often, spent almost always away from 1924, away from home. He was on the trail of some bad people, as he used to tell me. When he wasn't travelling, he was having meetings, secret meetings with people he wasn't in business with. I used to think they were for dabblers in the occult. My mother didn't like them. That's probably when she started drinking. But something happened in 1924. He came back rattled and unravelled. He didn't have any more secret meetings after that. He stopped travelling. He pretty much became a recluse. He saw a psychiatrist for a few years, but, apart from that, we could tell he wasn't well. He burned his books, didn't eat, jumped at shadows, insisted we were being watched all the time. But he forgave us from asking about his travels any more than once, and just said nothing matters anymore. Mother died in 1942, he didn't even notice. After that, he only became more paranoid, frustrated, and finally passed away. Just a shadow of his former self. That was when I found his letters. Letters from a man called Douglas Henslow, who had apparently been working my father up until about 1924. I think he must have been one of the people father met at the house, time and time again. He wrote to father, always asking the same thing, to write what he had seen. My father never did. He never answered these letters, but he kept them. One of the few things he didn't seem to have burned. I guess he studied them, but he never dared to write back. So, then, Douglas Henslow wrote another letter which came this year, just before my father died. All I have to go is postmarks. They're sent from 2 addresses in Savannah, Georgia. I think the man wants to know what happened to my father, and I want to know what my father was mixed up in, whether I should apologise for him or defending him, whether he'd left his work unfinished or whether I'm in any danger. I'm glad an engineer might pilot Mr. Keynes, but with Gatto here, I doubt you'll be wanting him. Time is a factor, money is less so. So, is there any questions?
Would you object if we read those letters from Mr. Hounds?
No, of course. Over here, she kind of pulls open the kind of drawer desk and brings out a stack of letters. And there is a summary here. So you can see the first one started 1925. So please write back with the account of what happened. My doctors do not believe me. This is just excerpts, of course. The actual ones are a bit more rambling. Mm-hmm. June 6, 2096. Don't worry, haven't told them where any of this was, and I won't. July 16th, 1927. So pretty much once a year, almost. Tell me they didn't die for nothing. Tell me they didn't get away with it. 2 years later, this one is also West Henry Street. Perhaps if they followed me out of there, they'd still be alive. 1930. If you just send word telling your version of events, perhaps the doctors would believe you. 1931. Are you ignoring me, or is this way of trying to help me? Your silence echoes. I think they're trying to tell me something. Then in 33, the address changes to 23 Old Hope Road. Things are better here. I think maybe I'm free of that day at last. May 25th, 1933. I'm sorry I haven't left you in peace, my old friend. I won't write again. This is obviously a lie, because in August 9th, 1933, I just made a book of everything I remember and hidden it away here. But I'll tell you where it is, just ask. 1934, the address returns to West Henry Street. It's been so long, I know, but I didn't think you'd ever be able to escape what happened. 1935? It wasn't real. Perhaps it wasn't real. They tell me it wasn't real. Sorry if I frightened you. And then December 29th, 1936. Do you ever remember what happened anymore? I wonder if you ever opened my letters.
I was wondering if that last one was cut off on the.
Yeah, no, it's cut off in the book. It's fine. I've got the full thing here.
Okay.
Hi.
I don't suppose my cryptography would let me spend to find any hidden messages.
So, cryptography. So, as you look at them, you notice there are lots of words and letters circled. There's lines drawn between them. It kind of looks like he's been poring over them.
I have a question.
So, no, we're on a cryptography. So that's your basic cryptography. Yes, a 1 point cryptography spend.
Done.
Yep. This will take you a few hours, but I'll assume you'll do it afterwards. And I'll just kind of backfill it now, rather than go through it. It seems like he was just clutching at straws. There's no code here. Just, he's been looking for something that isn't there.
Do they have the addresses where these letters were sent to? He looks like he was trying to converse with somebody.
Yeah, they're all sent to my father's house.
Okay, so this guy was sending these to your father.
Yes, these are the postmark address. So this is where the letters have come from.
That's where they're from. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and your father was mum about this entire thing and what this man may be rambling about?
I didn't even know he was receiving the letters until I was clearing up his accounts. He would never talk about it.
Well, the only
name.
Go ahead.
No, interrupt.
Okay, I was merely going to say, the only thing I could see that's of any real interest is that he said he wrote everything down and I had 23 Old Hope, where he said he had wrote a book and he put it there. And these may be ramblings, but that seems to be a material clue of some sort, if he actually did.
Yes, I saw that as well, but, if there was a book, my father either burned it or never collected it. He does mention that, I have hidden it away here. So, whether it's hidden at that address or somewhere else, I don't know. It's one of the things I've had you to look into.
Very well.
Fair enough. I believe I can probably get into this place if necessary, if it's been occupied or not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't suppose the name is familiar to you from before the letters.
No, as I said, the people he dealt with for this occult stuff was not his normal business practice. It wasn't someone who, he dealt with. It's not a business acquaintance, so we would have not met him socially. Alright, so, Stupentis and so Dalton and Arbitus, your assess honesty kind of tells you that she's holding something back at this point.
Do you need to spend reinsurance or something to get the information?
All right. How much of a spend would it be to try and coax the situation? I can lean on the whole sort of, you're talking to a policeman you've hired. We can assure you of that progression.
So that'd be a reassurance spend?
Okay, so taking that out of the pool.
Yeah, 1 point reassurance spend.
Sorry.
So yes, you can see
reassurance or assess honesty?
Reassurance, yeah.
Sorry, I don't have reassurance, my bad.
Oral history?
I have oral history. I'll spend a point in that.
Yep, alright. Right, so you can see that there's something about her. And, you're going to bring it up and say, I'll admit, I once thought my father's house was haunted. Shadows seem to bend and warp. Odd stains appear from nowhere. I thought I saw things in the wall. But of course, it's all the nervous energy of frightened girl. I've never seen anything since my father died.
Oh, you were not living with your father at the time of his death, then?
You never saw any freeform floating apparitions?
I have no idea what there is. That's my father now. I had moved out with my husband at that time. But he passed last year in an automobile accident. Now, with my father gone, it seems that the Winston line will die with me.
You haven't. So I guess you haven't had kids then.
No, we're never blessed with that. I have inherited two fortunes, however.
I do apologize. I didn't mean to bring up that.
It's fine.
Well then. So where would you like us to start, ma'am?
Well, these addresses seem the best place.
And also we could say gain entry to your father's house to see at some point as well in the future.
There's no point. It's all been cleared out. It's an empty shell now. Everything that he didn't burn has been sold or moved to a different place.
Okay.
I pored over that myself, looking for any clues, and there wasn't anything. Everything that's of interest is here. She kind of motions to the kind of shelves around you.
So you've brought everything into one place.
Yeah.
But you did say that there was some weird things with the walls, so if...
Yes, but no one else saw them. There was never anything physical. It was probably just my imagination.
Fair enough.
My father was an ill man, and when you're around ill people, you tend to begin to feel you're ill yourself.
Fair enough.
Okay, I'll head to the book stacks and start looking through them.
Alright.
Is there any spins for architecture or art history with this, or accounting, Ray?
No.
Probably not.
Okay.
One second, there is something with the books.
Oh, blast, I forgot to note down my languages.
Would that be a library use test or something?
So, let's just flick through, find that.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. So, with occult, which is, of course, Tobias again. So...
Tobias.
Sorry,
right.
Arbin. Yeah. Sorry, Tobin. Tobias. Sorry. New characters, new names.
The thing is, that could have been about half of us.
Yeah. Right, so with occult, you'll notice that the library's got a few texts for American mysticism, folk knowledge, but they're all kind of entry-level material. None of this paints a picture of a well-informed arcanist or occultist, so you feel that he may have purged all the good texts from this.
Man was desperate to hide his tracks. Seems.
Or afraid.
No spins for Streetwise, Ray?
No.
Okay.
Go onto the street.
We're in a hangar.
Got hanger wires.
Hangar wise.
Okay. So
anything for languages? Like any foreign language books that we may not be able to decipher easily?
No, it's all pretty much standard English.
Okay.
Yeah.
So essentially we have two addresses: 513 West Herring Street, or 23 Old Hope Road.
We should probably start with Old Hope Road.
Old Hope Road.
See if we can
where
dig up
the
that book.
letters say that the book is. So
Yeah.
Agreed.
So, as I've been about to kind of look through the letters in a bit more detail, there's a few more notes which will just kind of fill it out. So, Dr. Henslow refers several times to deaths. Told me they didn't die. Perhaps they followed me out there and still be alive. Stuff like that. The letters are often very repetitive, often vague. Kind of like it tends to be the same thing over and over again.
He's trying to reaffirm what happened may have happened, what actually happened. What people who are not around anymore, where have they gone?
Walter Winston was apparently the leader of this group. And one other little bit that's not in this bit is Henslow apparently travelled back to Savannah right after August in 1924.
To Savannah? Is that?
Yeah, back to Savannah.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, without seeing Walter Winston again. But it doesn't say where he travelled back from. So whatever happened wasn't Savannah. He's just travelled back to Savannah.
He may have just been a different place.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my payment was in my letter, so no have to worry. I don't have to ask anything about that. What do you, ma'am? I may have asked this before. I just want to be confirmed. What do you want out of all this? What does a client require?
Closure. I don't know what happened. I don't know what it was that destroyed my father so thoroughly.
And from what we're reading here and everything, would you believe what we find is the question, no matter what it may be.
Well, if you find the truth, but occultism is always strange. Occultists. Yeah, there's always a level of distrust and misinformation on top of it. I want the core of this. I want proof.
Okay. We'll look for proof of what may have destroyed your father.
Yeah.
It's not much to go off of, but we can begin.
So off to 23 Old Hope Road.
Mm-hmm.
I take it Gato will be our since he's not on this journey, but he's invited himself. Is he our main contact back? Our handler, would you say?
I will give you a number to ring. If you want my cousin to ring for you, that's fine. But remember, he is not paid, and there's a good chance he'll wander off on his own at some point.
This looks like it will keep me entertained for at least a year.
A year?
Mysteries always have a way of doing that.
We're going to have other problems.
Yes.
Problems we don't know because that's in the future.
Yep. All right. Any other questions?
Don't think so.
Oh, thank
No. Feel free to contact me with any information. You have a fairly blank check, as long as you are. Provide receipts. And
Don't worry. I have a history of accounting. I can keep at least a record of our expenses.
Excellent.
How often do you wish us to ring you back with our current state?
Just as long as the updates are regular. I don't need to know every day. But, don't try not to leave it like weeks without telling me. Hopefully it won't take you weeks.
We will inform you per breakthrough, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, don't bother me. I'm a busy woman. I've got 2 empires to run. So, I don't need to. We've looked through documents for 3 days, reports. Just when you find something of substance.
Very well.
All right. So I guess you have. Is the plane for us to take to go places? I guess.
Oh, this is
our horse is saddled in the back.
How do we get where we're going?
Well, you can either have Frank fly you, or Yato will take you.
Airplane. It's much faster than walking.
But landing is the main question about airplaning.
Surely there's an airstrip or something.
There's an airstrip
every single
at
detail.
just about every major city.
Savannah might not be the most metropolitan town in existence, but they have an airstrip.
Okay. I hate flying, but sure. I'm getting paid, so I might as well do as the client asks.
A few hours flight beats a few days walking or driving, I'm afraid. We'll take the plane.
Okay, so I'm going to have to do the most difficult thing I ever do. I throw down my cigarette and stamp it out.
Oh,
I guess
you can smoke on the plane.
Can you smoke on the plane?
It's the 30s.
This is the 1930s.
Oh, okay, then I
for like 3
It's not a
course you
prop
could
plane
smoke
from
on
the First World
Probably
War.
offer cigarettes when you're on the plane.
okay. I light another cigarette and start smoking again.
They
Booze.
certainly offer booze.
And hey, if it's Gatto's plane, he's probably got a butler on board or something. Better said.
Oh,
Minibar.
yeah.
I
Probably.
mean, yes.
Oh yeah, actually, that's a good point. This is a private plane too.
Yes.
We
Yes.
don't even
So-
have to deal with those regulations if we don't want.
Yeah, 1930s, kind of like transatlantic flights and stuff like that just didn't happen. There's probably not much in the way of a public flight thing. Most of the planes flying will be private or government.
Are chartered?
It's only kind of post World War II when the air industry took off because they had all the
They had
factories.
jets.
They had jets and they had factories to produce them.
Yeah.
Even the 50s, though, the prop planes, most of the planes were prop planes.
Yeah, flying
Jets
right
didn't
now is
kick
either
off.
for very rich or the very connected.
Who also happen to tend to be very rich.
Well,
Unless your job involves jumping out of a plane, you're kind of given a buy.
Alright, well, I will go and strap myself in and smoke 2 cigarettes for stress.
Strap?
probably aren't seatbelts yet. Yeah. What do you mean strap in?
Yeah,
I
what's
will-
the seatbelt?
Yes.
This isn't a combat aircraft.
I will sit in my seat with my fingers gripping the railing. White
You think you
knuckle.
get a seat?
They're plush. Of course you get a seat.
Yeah, that's a good point. This is again a private luxury aircraft. There's going
Yeah, I'm
to be
just aiming a dig at this god.
I know.
Oh, this will be my first time flying. This will be fun.
not nearly as fun once you've done it a few times.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for flying with Italy's finest. We will be leaving in approximately 5 minutes as
Where's
soon as
the
pre-flight
view?
checks are completed. Bruce, our pre-flight checks completed. Bruce is my manservant. He's Australian.
Checks if everyone has drinks.
Yes. Make sure
Yeah,
one of the
yeah,
windows
boss.
is cracked to let the smoke out.
I'm not going to try an Australian accent. It
Yeah,
will
don't.
probably.
No.
Right, Sheila's.
That was
we're
literally
gonna
just
miss
your
him when he's
regular
eating.
accent, except you were saying Sheila.
Yeah.
Looks like a
Yeah.
beautiful night for a flight.
Yeah. You can wait till morning, it's fine. I'm assuming you've all got luggage that, packed away in your car. You would have been
Yeah.
told it's a trick, so yeah.
I have my shirt, my boots, my change of clothes, my change of underoos, my lockpicks. You know,
3 change of clothing, 2 tents, several dozen rounds of ammunition.
Suits, scrubs, pistol, medical
Field
bag.
laboratory.
The really big case that I never ask what's in it.
A couple of crates marked this side up and danger.
With hair holes drilled in them.
Yes.
Suitcase,
I
pistols.
suppose this is before sort of the standardized safety marking.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. Again, I think that's all post-war. Although, to be fair, slapping danger on the side in giant letters is a pretty good indicator no matter what.
Yes.
I'm
Most
actually
people
going to pull out my 1911 and compare it to the detective's.
Now, that's interesting, actually, because I've gone for the police sidearms, which are revolvers rather than the M1911.
Oh, you've got one of those too. Aren't they nice? I have a 1911.
I'm wondering how you got that, considering it's a military.
Money! Oh, I know
Yeah,
a guy
I
in
mean-
procurement.
I mean, a blade of remember the gangsters had Tommy guns at this point, or earlier, a bit earlier. So it's
Anyone
like,
could have Tommy guns at this point. They were selling them on the frontier.
Tommy
Yeah,
guns weren't
automatic.
actually that popular. They were very
No.
expensive. They were a lot
No,
less
but-
common. They were just very, very common after the Second World War when they were making the gangster films, which is why they
No.
got given to other films.
But there were some that had. I'm just using it as an example for
Yeah.
some random person having high-powered weaponry.
remember, good sir, we live in America where we have a Second Amendment. This is our God-given
Why do you-
right to have these guns.
Why did you sound Russian for a second?
So wait, do you
Why wouldn't
have
you
a
sound Russian?
38 special or a 32?
32.
50 cal.
Although, to be fair, I should also point out I do have a 12-gauge pump shotgun, but needless to say, that's not exactly out. That's in the suitcase.
No, that stays in the car unless we need
That's
it.
not the sort of thing you just carry.
No. It will be a little bit inappropriate. for a social do with it.
We're doing a pulp
to
game.
mention-
I'm surprised that the Dilettante doesn't have a elephant rifle just strong across his back.
Bruce is carrying
Yeah,
it.
it's just not here.
Bruce is carrying it. So that I can reach behind me and say, Bruce, my elephant rifle.
How many Bruces are
Okay, sir.
like,
There's a lot of Bruces.
yeah.
They got-
Look, as soon as I determined that I was going to have a manservant, I knew he had to be named Bruce.
Not
Surprised you're
Gene.
not called Alfred.
Yeah.
No, he's he's my Batman. His name is Bruce.
Oh,
Yes. very
anyway,
Yeah, I got one, but it's fine. Alright.
fine, in places, going
hence,
places.
hence Alfred.
I wasn't going to mention it, but you
Yeah.
know, you forced my hand, sir. Anyways, we're taking off.
Alright, so the flight to Savannah will take you a few hours. And so Savannah is not the town it was in the Civil War. It's not even one of the 100 most populous cities anymore. It's one of those, it's kind of coasting off its history, but there isn't such thing as tourism yet. So,
I mean, it managed to not get burned down by Sherman, so relatively speaking, it's still pretty popular.
it did have a kind of, booming shipwright industry until, everything moved over to iron ships and suddenly people didn't want sails and cotton and all that stuff.
Not to
Yeah.
mention they couldn't actually get on the river in Savannah with an iron ship.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I'm talking about they used to produce a lot of the exports for shipping, like the cotton and stuff like that, and wood, but they don't. That's not needed anymore, so that kind of killed quite a lot of the industry. And it's kind of before the tourism, so it's very much a rundown city of former glories. All right, so whoa, that's the size of the city. Gotta
Yeah, if
check
it's a
these.
picture of a city, surely it ought to be the size.
That's just a map from that's 1910, but it wouldn't have changed that much.
Not likely.
Be surprised.
A little
Yeah.
bigger, that's all.
A little bigger. It's still got the main parks and stuff like that. Brick streets, wrought iron gates. Alright. So, you land.
Cutting edge.
Yep.
Wait, are we at Old Hope, or are we going towards? Is this where Old Hope is, or where West Havington Street is?
Old Hope.
You haven't got a
surely.
clue.
Okay,
You have no clue.
fair enough.
Well,
Alright.
surely we went to the place that had the place we're trying to go to.
You haven't got a clue where it is, you just got addresses. You have to
Yeah.
quickly
We'll
pull that up.
We'll have to investigate.
Time
Hey.
for some legwork.
Hopefully they have taxis in this city.
It's the depression.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully we have something called library use. We can go and say Q City Hall.
True, actually, the
Of course I have library use. How do you think I met my fiance?
The
Hmm.
local library would probably actually have this exact map.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Hunter's Field, you arrive, which is the airfield. It's a few miles outside of town, and then you can rent or get a cab into town, which is quite easy.
Mhm.
Like the one surviving cab company knows it has to hang around the airfield.
Hmm.
And as you go through the city, you can see, the asphalt streets are eroded, the old cobbles are poking through, there's weeds, cracks in the pavements. So there's earth down there as well.
General infrastructural decay.
Yeah, you can smell the harbour. It's pretty much, you feel like you could wring the air out, it's so humid.
Georgia.
It is Georgia for you.
As I say this, I am literally drowning in my own sweat. So
You are well into this, you're in the zone for this bit.
I also live in
Reminds me
Georgia.
of my second safari.
Where was it to?
Oh, somewhere in Africa. I wasn't paying that much attention
Sounds like you learned a lot.
to the geography, anyways.
Alright, so you head to the local library or stuff like that.
Library, City Hall, records.
So, a quick check of the Hall of Records is the first address, 513 West Henry Street, is the address of the Joy Grove Sanitarium. which is
Joy.
apparently a 40-year-old mental health institution.
Joy.
In use or abandoned?
In use. It's part of a hospital building.
Okay.
Okay, so 513 equal Joy Grove Sanitarium?
Joy Grove Sanitarium.
So if it was a sanitarium and he had basically moved back there, that would mean that he went nuts again, supposedly. They readmitted him.
Yeah, they'll have let him out at some point and then decided they could.
Yeah, he did something probably.
Yeah. 23 Old Hope Road is the Henslow estate, mansion and grounds, 13 miles southeast of the city.
In use or abandoned?
This doesn't say. This is just literally like an address.
Would there be any spends to find out if it is abandoned or in use? Architecture, art history, anything? Law? Would looking through law records figure that out?
No, it's more like the library use.
Yeah, probably maybe like checking like newspaper records and stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that would
I'll
be-
spend a point in library use to see if I can dig up anything more.
Is there a
Alright.
zero? Is there a zeros point or a 1 point spend? Gray.
It's 1 point spend.
I got it.
Yeah. The Henslow estate is apparently on land that's been in the Henslow family since 1801. Well, it's a stretch of ground that's ordinarily a peninsula, but sometimes an island. It kind of depends on how much rain there's been recently. It's called the Moss Island Peninsula. It's a remains of a collection of farms and plantations that were owned by the Henslows. Still registered to a Virginia Henslow, 89.
For reference, how much rain has there been recently?
I don't know. Not too much.
It doesn't specify.
Yeah, moderate
Okay.
amounts. It's probably quite wet.
I'm
So
basically asking, is it currently an island or is it accessible?
we'll find out when we get there.
There'll be bridges. They'll have built it to be accessible all times of year.
We'll find out when the cultists spring out at us.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking now.
So
Can I find a phone number for them, or
They don't have a phone.
Yeah,
30s.
this is
It's the
1937.
It's the 30s, and she's 89.
What's this phone thing, young man?
Not one having those ringing boxes in my house.
Electricity?
Apparently-
Bah!
Yeah.
Actually, is the place electrified?
We'll find out when we get there.
Yeah, I think you'll find out.
all right. So
Okay, that
I think
was
it will
normal.
be.
So do we want to deal with the sanitarium, or do we wish to go straight to this estate?
Sorry,
I-
which is the place that they said that they hid the thing?
Old
Uh,
Hope
the
Road,
estate.
which is his estate.
Okay, well we should.
But if we want to find out more about the man himself, or at least what the doctors would tell us about him, we would go to the sanatorium first.
I do have bureaucracy. I could get us into the sanitarium.
But the thing is, do we have anyone who has medicine or something
Yes.
that would?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm,
And I have credit rating, which should be able to get us access to the estate.
estate? Oh,
And
why
flattery.
would credit rating get you into? Oh, okay, I suppose that.
He's
might
saying he used free credit rating for everything.
No, I'm saying that I can
Yeah,
use my
please.
that credit rating is also hobnob with rich people.
Credit rating is how much money you have and how respected you are. It's kind of a dual thing.
Mm,
I'm
well,
Italian nobility. Of course I can get into an estate.
All right. So do we want to know more about the man, or do we wish to go straight there and take a look? I mean,
Well,
if he was getting if he was getting therapeutics, he might have been given a note or journal or something for himself to write down or something.
Learning more about him might help find the thing.
It's true. You might remember parts of where he hid it.
Let's
Oh,
go
that-
to.
Yeah, I suggest we actually hit up there first.
Right. So just as a note, I can get us in. I probably can't talk to people.
Do you? We'll leave that to our. We'll leave that to the detective to talk to people.
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah,
sure he
his
has.
job.
I'm sure he has some level of, or the dilettante if he wants to be foppish.
Nothing else. I'm pretty sure I can convince the sanitarium docs that he's something to come up in case I talk to him about.
Who knows? The dilettante might want to check himself in just for the experience.
Nah, terribly boring places, sanitariums.
Yeah, but that's what they might think be there.
Anyway,
I suggest then we all head to the sanitarium.
let's
Is
go.
there
to
a
the
point spin we
sanitarium.
can use to get in, like, without having to finagle?
Let's go to the sanitarium.
And Rob Gray, this finagling opportunities.
Finagling comes back easily. Point spends don't.
Precisely.
Yeah, but it would be a lot easier for us if we could get access because they let us have access rather than sort of trying to get
not, like,
sort
locked
of
up.
access.
Consider this: I have a medical license.
We also have a note. We can also say we have a note from the. Well, no, we don't. Well, no, we don't have anyone. We don't know anyone from the
No.
family. Sorry,
No.
I had a brain fart.
Okay, so wait, are you actually a doctor then and not just a medic?
Yeah, he's a medical practitioner. He, like, part of being a corpsman is being a registered medical practitioner.
Yeah, but there's a distinction.
Depends how much blather you put on it.
Yeah, I suppose. But the people in the
He's got
sanitarium
six-
might put a lot of blather on it. It's a sanitarium.
He has 6 medicine, and you need 2 medicine to be a licensed practitioner. So
Okay.
All right, let's go.
He's read up well since the army.
Let's go to the sanitarium and get creeped out by.
Alright.
Damage.
513 West Henry Street. You kind of, nub a taxi, drive you straight there. Gates will be open. There'll be a guard there, of course, but he'll just kind of wave you through. He's more there to keep people from getting out and getting in. It's a kind of hulking red brick Victorian building with like narrow windows and Gothic details. It looms vertically as decorative details. It means it's could have been anything from an imposing school to an artful factory. It's kind of overgrown though, so quite a lot of like what's it called?
Ivy?
Ivy is kind of like choking it, and kind of like most of the walls and quite a lot of the roof is covered. And you'll be dropped off at the door, and seems to be open. There's a few patients in the grounds under supervision of nurse. No one really pays you any attention.
So, do we start rolling stability now or later?
Later.
Later. It's quite easy to get into the asylum. Getting out of the asylum is going to be a bit trickier.
ain't that
Is it called-
always the way?
It's a Call of Cthulhu game. Getting into an insane asylum is always easy.
Very
Always.
true. Alright, so you're a front desk.
Yes, there is a front desk. There's a nurse there. She kind of looks up with interest. She's been kind of doing her nails slightly.
Good afternoon, ma'am. We're here to talk to Douglas Henslow.
Douglas Henslow, do you have an appointment? And she's kind of flicking through the book, and kind of like a door kind of opens to the side. And a man kind of walks out. Oh, did you say Henslow?
Yes, sir.
I'm Dr. Keaton. I'm Henslow's physician. It's interesting. He hasn't had a visitor in, years since his mother was bedridden. So, why are you here?
We've had some. Well, I hate to sort of talk too much about confidential details, but a friend of Mr. Henslow's has passed away, and we felt the.
Oh dear, that is horrible. I didn't know he had any friends left. I know he was in contact with somebody in New England, but I was told that they passed away recently.
That was he, sir.
Yes.
Oh, so silly of me. I'm sorry. Should have put 2 and 2 together.
Wait.
So, do you have a letter or anything for him? Or are you willing to speak to him personally?
If possible, we'd like to speak to a person.
That's fine. I will have to accompany you, of course. He is one of my patients, and he's been making great strides recently. He's one of those from the 1924 incident. So, we have him and another patient here. And
1924 incident, you say?
Yes. If you're a friend of the family, sure you know. There was some sort of horrific event that he's rationalised as monsters and cults and all sorts of, hoodoo stuff. But it's really covering up some core tragedy that I've never really been able to unlock. What's interesting, though, is that he and another patient share a very similar kind of fixed narrative, and I'm writing my paper on it. It's a very interesting codependent story. I've never really been able to unravel it.
Does anyone here have insurance to spend or use to just say feign interest enough to get a copy of that paper he's currently working on?
I might be able to, either of us might, depending on
I have
exactly
flattery,
what Ray
but
wants.
not reassurance.
You would is flattery on the book, Ray, to say, because if we were to get basically to get the guy's notes, because that's where a consistent narrative might be obtainable. Because if Douglas Hawthorne Henslow has a fit or something due to our re-drudging of traumatic experiences, it may be the best place to find. We know this guy's going to go nuts.
And already.
All right.
It's when to us, but it's if to the doctor.
Yeah. So, there's no spend to get it to his notes. But if you want, he's more than willing to give you a tour. In fact, he's kind of insisting he wants to show you the sanitarium before he'll let you speak to Henslow.
We would be more than happy to.
Never had the
course,
opportunity to see a sanitarium before. Sounds interesting.
The other side of medical practice is doing business.
Excellent. I will need you to sign a waiver first, of course. This is Bedlam, after all. And it kind of brings out like a series of stock forms.
This isn't the actual Bedlam, is it? Surely?
No, it's not actual Bedlam. Actual Bedlam is in London, so I hope not.
That's why I'm...
If London has suddenly been translocated with Savannah, there's something even bigger going.
Things have been very interesting indeed.
Is there any 0 point spins to read the fine print?
Yep, it's a law thing. So Detective Dalton knows that this is pretty standard. It's a waiver. You can't sue them in case of shock, offence, assault, or battery.
Okay.
It's not all.
So it's a legal tool. It's just basically, you're going into a place where there's, crazy people. If they hurt you,
in case
it's
of
your fault.
shock offence?
Shock.
Shock is still
Shocks.
Shark.
Okay, shark.
Shock.
Okay, if sharks...
They should add shocks too.
I've got to be honest, if you start seeing sharks in the sanitarium, you should be in there.
If I see a shark, I'm not mentioning anything.
Since
If you see a shark, you might not be leaving as soon as you think you will.
That's why I'm not mentioning it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will sign it with my assumed name.
Yeah. So he's not willing to give you his books, his notes, but he's willing to talk you through the gist of the story as you do the tour.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he kind of he hands this, there you go, Nurse Hampton, and he hands them to the nurse. Okay, if you would like to follow me. Right, where to start? Well, Joy Grove was founded in 1900 as a hospital, and it's mainly been a hospital since. And it kind of just starts with all this Victorian stuff and blah, blah, blah. You kind of notice as you go through, you've got oversized windows with iron bars on them. The skylights are caked with dirt and grime. all the tiles are really fine detail, but they've been damaged by water, and patients have been chipped off.
Not nearly as well paying as a hospital as time, it seems like.
No, you get the feeling that the donations for this place have dried up, and he's noticed that at least one of you is a man of money, and is kind of he's dropped several hints about donations and funding to do the great work being harder and harder to come by. So yes, after a while, it kind of goes, given your limited resources, we do our best. So yes, this is the exam rooms were renovated, and Douglas has been here since 1924. Hector Job also came here later in that same year, I think. The stair psychosis is amazing. I don't exactly know what happened out in Los Angeles. Wherever it was involved gunplay, murder, and fire. It was too much for them to internalize, so he concocted an elaborate stories that externalized their fears into these terrible monsters.
She was saying whatever happened to them came what happened in Los Angeles.
Yes, yeah. They're getting better. I doubt they'll ever be able to be released back into the world. We tried that with Douglas a few years ago, and he was quickly readmitted on his own kind of remit. Yeah.
He came back with himself.
Yeah. And you kind of see that everyone's he shows you some of the rooms. They're small, bland off areas. The rooms are full of patients playing cards, reading books, lining up to get their medicine. A few of them are yelling or hitting themselves, and kind of staring at you as you go past, waggling fingers at you. So that's all kind of sedate, subdued.
Oh, sorry, I did mean to ask, does he know of where he went when he was released for that short period?
Oh, yes, he went back to his... it's about the time his mother was bedridden, and we decided that we would try a release factor, to see if he could help, but it ended poorly. He deepened his psychosis. He was up all hours, apparently. And in the end, he realised he needed the stability here and the good work we do. So, if you'd like to follow me over this way. So, at this point, who do I target?
Oh, I target, thank you. Right.
Well, okay, great. Yeah. There's 6 of us. Roll a d6.
Oh, good point.
That's actually a good shout, yeah.
Yeah. So, there a couple of orderlies are moving a patient, and then he just seems calm, docile. Then suddenly he just kind of snaps. He kind of punches both the orderlies kind of down in before you even notice, and starts sprinting across the floor towards your group. Stop this instant, Mr. Culver, shouts Dr. Keaton. Orderlies! But there's no way they're going to get there. And he leaps straight at Herbert West.
Well, obviously,
would there be
pulls out 2 sticks of dynamite and
yes, he does.
Right. Given that I've had to deal with similar incidents in the past, what I don't. I
would this
genuinely
be a
don't
scuffling
know.
test, Gray? With a bigger
It'd be a
pulse?
scuffling test. He's the aggressor. So, in one-on-ones like this,
I have absolutely no scuffling. I cannot do anything.
So
yes, it's okay, but the aggressor goes first. So normally scuffling is used as kind of the initiative, but in one-on-ones there's the aggressor and the defender. So the aggressor always goes first. In this case, he's the aggressor, which means he will automatically attack.
All right, so you have singled out West for this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your hit threshold is 3, which means he has to roll a 3 or more on a d6 to hit you.
How do you even set that? Is that just automatic?
It's automatic.
You are
Okay.
3 unless you have 8 athletics, in which case it's 4.
Yes.
No, I do not.
Yeah, so it's automatic set. If you look on above your health on your character sheet, you got hit threshold.
Yeah, I
3.
saw that, but I didn't know if that had to be changed or anything.
No, that's automatic. All right.
Unless you want to be like Action Doctor and like be suddenly just take a bunch of cardio classes and retroactively.
All
I
right.
can run
So
very
he's
well.
going to spend 2 points of scuffling on this roll.
He doesn't like you.
Eh?
No.
It's
So he hits.
did you put that in Gumshoe too?
What?
Well, the first 2 was to check who he targeted.
Yeah.
The second 2 is the actual roll.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2
Which is a 4, which is a hit. So that's our first time with the system. So give us a second while we figure out combat. I have reread the book several times, but I need to make sure I'm doing it right.
So what happens
So
now?
he's hit you.
Dang.
It's going to be a D6 -2 if I remember correctly. Since he's
Yes, that's what I'm thinking because he's just using his fists.
For bare fists, yeah.
So,
It's not like he has a BLM somewhere to pull out for.
Oh,
well, I didn't do
2
the manage
damage.
2 points of damage.
Okay. And I've got no way of defending or negating that.
No.
Unless you were to. Oh, well, okay. So you don't have scuffling against that. You can't negate damage.
Yeah.
You can just.
Okay, so you've just taken a attack from a human opponent intending to do serious harm. That's a 2-point stability test.
Okay. How do I do that?
So you roll a d6. If you roll 4 or more, you pass.
And you can spend stability to improve your test, but the stability you spend on this will go poof.
So it generally depends on what your target is. If you're being targeted for like a 6-point test,
Yes.
spending 2 points to make sure you
Yeah,
don't take
helpful.
6 is probably a good idea. On a 2-point, it's a 50-50, so you could spend a point to minimize. So it's kind of this trade-off.
But you'll lose 3. So
If you fail, yes.
Yeah, if you fail, you lose 3. So yeah,
This is a
okay, so I've got to
research.
roll 4 or more.
4 or more.
Or
So
you can-
I won't spend anything.
Yeah, all stability
Okay, I won't
tests
spend
are
anything.
Yeah.
Sorry?
All stability tests are 4 unless it's a myth or hot one, which is 5 or even higher depending on the monster.
Okay. So like Cthulhu is 99 or some nonsense.
Yeah, Cthulhu is just you haven't got a chance unless you spend all your with.
No.
remember
Yeah.
that.
Just
Remember, Cthulhu eats 1d4 adventurers per round.
Wrong game.
Okay.
Everyone knows that.
So everybody. Okay, so I won't spend.
Yeah.
So it's just 4 plus, and I
Yeah.
don't.
All right. You shake this off. There's a madman attacking you.
You signed a waiver.
I've had bad men attack me before.
All right. So everyone else can act.
All right.
Do you want to beat on this guy, or do you want to wait for the orderlies? It'll be about another turn before the orderly get.
I
Would
have
there
to-
be a means to subdue this man?
Yeah, that's what would I have to do to subdue him? Would that be athletics or scuffling?
Be a scuffling test at this point. He's a crazy madman.
Could I caution him with my
Oh,
blackjack?
actually, he bites. He comes at you with a flashing jaws. So it's you actually took 1 extra point. It's -1 bite. He's got strong jaws.
So wait, sorry, how many points? How much
You took
damage
3
do I
points
take?
of damage. 3 points of damage,
Okay.
not 2. So yeah, he's got you on the floor, and he's kind of like saliva's coming out. He's biting, teeth
And-
gnashing.
That's
and his
ironic
threshold-
for Herbert West.
His hit threshold is 3. You say, right?
Yep.
Okay. I am go. So is what do you call it done by? Okay, go ahead.
I was trying to
Yeah.
add the modifier to my roll.
Well, you win you win first, I guess.
Yep.
Is
Basically, I'm just trying to get round back if he can get his hands behind him and pull him away from her.
yeah, I'll pitch out. Scuffling pool is terrible, but I'll give it a go.
is it if it is possible for me to aid this man as well? Is it shift or control?
It looks like it's control.
Yeah.
Or shift, alt, even.
Alt click. Trying to add. Oh, I didn't mean to do that for sure. I hit 4 anyway.
I think it's alt scroll to add the modifier on
No,
its own.
I'm an idiot. I was hitting Windows key instead of Alt.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a you problem.
If you alt click the cool, it takes one up and puts it in the modifier box on the bottom right, and then you double click.
Yeah, my main problem was I was clicking around. Anyway, I did a base scuffling, and it seems that we're all just dogpiling this man.
Yeah, so D6 minus 2.
No, we are punching this man.
Well, we're trying to get him off a collar.
Yeah, I'll say that you managed to restrain him. Yeah, you leave Herbert with a kind of nasty bruise, ugly mark on his arm or chest or something like that.
Yeah.
Wherever you want to be bitten. That sounds different in my head.
Yeah.
I can imagine he put his arm up to try and block
probably
it.
on the forearm.
You are now infected with lycanthropy.
Oh, no,
Like I
he's got
said,
a
it's a-
long...
It's ironic for Heiress West to be attacked like that.
Is it?
They kind of like, as you kind of hold him down, if anyone doesn't know, Herbert West is a Lovecraftian name. Hopefully you're not the real Herbert West.
Yeah, the
Right.
Reanimator, zombies.
I just pay Herbert West.
Don't have to draw any more lines.
Yeah.
Right. No,
Yeah.
I don't. Makes more sense.
Alright. So you hold him down, an orderly arrives and like slams the syringe into his shoulder, and he just kind of goes down. And Dr. Keening is just kind of like, oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. Dr. Keaton, sorry, not Dr. Keening.
Is he usually a trouble patient?
Not normally. He has his moments, but he's been doing well.
Is he
What
up
was that
on all
one?
of his shots?
Sorry.
Is he up on all of his shots?
Oh yes, of course. We make sure all our patients are well treated. I'm sure we can have someone looked at if you want.
But I'd also like to see the man's medical file to be entirely certain.
What is the man's name? Is a question.
Culver. I'm
Culver?
not sure if I should be showing you, letting you access to the medical files.
I
Clearly,
have
just-
reassurance. I am going to tell him that honestly, it's going to be just for the health of everyone involved.
All right, that'll be a 1 point spend.
Is Culver a part of the investigation?
And it is.
Yep. So you visual. Oh, of course. Do you want to see those files now or after you speaking to Mr. Henslow?
We'll take them as we're leaving.
Oh, take them.
He means figuratively.
That means
Okay. Okay.
my
Just
apologies. Military is not particularly good.
Okay.
Is there any subject that Mr. Henslow reacts poorly to?
Just Mr. Job. As I say, he was on the other side of the altercation.
For what you're talking about, what happened to him beforehand? Like he was on the
The
other side.
1924 incident, yes.
Okay.
Apparently they were on opposite sides.
Oh, so these two gentlemen were on the opposite sides of this one altercation that they
Yeah.
have stunningly similar accountings of.
Yep.
Which are clearly the mad ramblings of people who are too much under stress that that makes no sense. Gotcha.
Yes. Externalization of internal fears. So, if you'd like to follow me.
I think I'm going to have to drop out for now. My head is killing me.
Alright.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
We've only got like an hour left.
Gato wanders off.
As is his thing.
Gato.
Yes.
Wait.
Yeah, that's actually entirely in character, isn't it?
Yeah, he'll just wander in again later.
He's fanning himself because that was such a brutish encounter. He goes and grabs a stiff
He's
brandy.
decided that he saw a nice little bar on our way here. He's just gonna go duck out and see that for.
All right.
Alright, so I will of course be observing this little interview. Just to make sure that, everything is in his best interests.
Of course.
Okay.
Alright. Alright, so he takes you to one of the exam rooms. There's 3 chairs, a table, a barred window. Smells like they've disinfected it with chlorine recently. And he just kind of like busies himself, and, just like gets it. And then Henslow is led into the room. He's out of shape, aging, his hair's losing, going at the back. He's clean shaven with good posture, but he's kind of picking at his cuticles as he's moving in.
He's been stuck in a room. He's been stuck in a single room in an asylum for so long that he's kind of turned pudgy.
Yeah, he needs a haircut. He kind of sits down. So sorry, what's this about?
Good evening, sir. We are we have come due to the unfortunate happens at the behest of the daughter of one of a friend of you.
Why are we letting Discord speak?
Yes, someone else step in. Quick.
Ouch.
Detective, go ahead.
Good afternoon. I'm sorry to have to talk to you about this at short notice, but we're friends with. Sorry, I'm out of character. I'm just going for my own notes again. Go.
I understand, Garzer.
That's fine.
We're here to talk to you about Mr. Winston, Walter Winston. We understand he was a friend of.
Yes, he was. Has he sent you here? Has he finally decided he's going to tell what happened?
I'm sorry to just. I should probably explain this as gently as I can. I'm afraid Mr. Winston's daughter has sent us. Mr. Winston passed away.
Oh, no. Something to be expected. Was it natural causes?
Out of character, I believe that's what the daughter said, wasn't it, Gray?
No,
Yeah.
car crash.
Yeah, you just
Yes.
Yeah.
car crash?
If I remember correctly,
her husband died of a car crash.
Okay.
He died of natural causes.
It was. Yes.
Oh, that's good. At least he found some peace.
You knew him quite well then.
Yes. We were working together in 1924. It's what ended me up in here.
Yes, Los Angeles, wasn't it?
Oh, has he told you something about it?
He left behind a few pieces of paper, and just Los Angeles was mentioned. So,
yeah, we were traveling the country, hot until of the cult. The ones that started all this. We were questioning people, gathering evidence, taking pictures. Travelled all over the country, really, like detectives, armed with our secret knowledge. It was really quite an exciting time. Following the drugs all the way across the country till we got to Los Angeles. So the bulk of our investigation took place, and that's where it happened.
I see. And this took a few years then. You knew him quite well.
Yeah, he's a self-made man, a businessman. Some sort of pharmacist and drug shop owner. Good money. The leader of our group, he gathered us all as the battle of perversity. Funded us as well. He's a good man.
So his father was the person who was funding the investigation. No, not the father, but the man, our employer.
Walt Winston was, yeah. Walt Winston was funding it, yeah.
See. And so it was you, Mr. Winston, and a few others, presumably.
Yes. There was Vince Stack. He was a tough fellow. Walter called him a fixer. Good with a gun, good with his hands. Always ready with a drink. He's the one who raided right in there on the night, but held to those cultists with shotguns. Who else? There's Catherine Clark, sharp woman, archivist, camerawoman, record keeper. Hated that something like the cult could operate in secret. People cover up something vile instead of revealing what it was. She's the one who got close enough to get all the photographs. She's the one who caught end of what happened in 24, and she died that night. Then, of course, F.C. Coleman, Walter's expert in the occult. Apparently known far and wide for expertise back in the day. Walter had to pay him quite a lot to come out with us to Los Angeles for a call. Bit of a stick in the mud, that fellow. Bright as could be, though. Stuck in a wheelchair, though. Can-do attitude.
See?
Yeah. That was it, I think, yeah.
I see.
So,
Just the five of us.
so,
Five of us against a cult.
so you were hunting a drug. So people who are dabbling in drugs, you say?
Yeah. Yeah, we try and trace the drug use to this cult. Walter was the brains. He and the FC did the research. Something about a summoning. They determined they were using drug monies to fund their operation. And that's who they figured out that the cult was already in contact with the dreadful thing, the thing with many mouths. Think of 1,000 mouths. They're planning to summon it to an incarnation of it to the barn outside Los Angeles. Rushed to the barn as soon as we could. There's so many cultists. Walter said the stars to right, whatever that means. Rushed out there with guns and homemade firebombs to put a stop to it, to save the world. And a lot of people died that night. It's a horrific fire. There was you could see he's kind of like picking at his fingers more and more as he goes in.
Is he having anyone with reassurance to calm him down a bit?
I
No,
still have. Well,
Okay.
Yeah, it won't take a spend. He's monologuing at this point. You know, he don't think he even knows you're in the room. There's horrific fire, the shootout. There's a thing that began tearing people apart. People running and screaming, throwing themselves into the fire, into our line of fire. I shot some people. I probably killed them. Then the thing came for us. I saw Walter panic. I'd never seen him panic before. Then all I knew was he was bolting through the high grasses like fire behind me, like a coward, a damn coward. And then he kind of like, now a bit of reassurance is probably useful. But it's not a spend, so.
Just quickly, I ask the sort of quietly to the side. I ask the asylum doctor. This is consistent with what he said before.
Yes. This is the same thing he's pretty much said in like 100 interviews.
Okay, so this is just how he is.
Was in an seems like he was in an investigation, and the final confrontation went poorly.
oh,
Yeah,
hey,
something like
do any of us have a cult?
I do. I have a point of
I think Added has.
Yeah, added to our basis as Tobin. Yeah.
I have a
Does the term "the stars are right" mean anything to him?
any of those. That's
No,
mythos
nothing.
than a
Added,
cult.
you've got the most occult.
I've got 2 occult.
You've got the most occult.
Oh, wow.
I have 1 occult. I have 1 occult because sometimes people want you to procure a mysterious artifact of some hunched figure of some sort or another. Sometimes.
That's wow. Why do I have the most? That's not right.
Why do you have a cult in the first
Yes, you
place?
Because I was in the Navy.
You don't
Yeah,
want
it's superstition. It's all the weird superstitions the Navy have.
Hmm.
I mean, that's actually true because it's still a seafaring. It's a seafaring thing. Seafaring is full of
Trying to
borderline
make
superstition
sure.
and all that.
Yeah. Trying to pray to the gods. Oh God, let's not sink.
So yeah, he seems to have dried up a little bit now, and he's just kind of like staring, twitching slightly.
So would there be what? Is there any prompts for a spend of any kind, Gray?
No spends, but just a reassurance of a cult.
I can use a point of a cult.
It's not a spend, so it's fine.
Okay. Anything I get from a 0 point spend of a cult then?
Well, you're supposed to roleplay it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we did read some of your letters you sent to your friend. You mentioned you wrote an account and you left it in your family home, we gather?
Yes, I had my notebook with a secret key to understanding what they were going back on then. It's almost certainly we're going, we failed. If you want to continue the take this note. Yeah, quick. You can have the paper. He kind of scribbles a quick note. Where have we got it? And make sure we get the right one. I'll just have to open it. Yeah, he scribbles himself a quick note. It's just right at the top because I put the wrong thing in. Yeah, if you want to go, just take this and they'll let you in.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you, sir.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you. Doo-doo.
Yeah, to
Yo.
give it to the groundskeeper. Old Hope Road.
Yep. Can you tell us where you've hidden your memoirs?
I can't remember. It's.
Are we
I hid
trusting
it.
this? Sort of, as an aside, are we trusting this doctor enough to ask these sensitive questions?
What's the doctor?
I
The
think
doctor's kind of sitting back at this point. He's just kind of he's watching. But he's more interested in the interplay.
Okay.
well,
Look, look, the doctor could either be a deep cover cultist that's been keeping this guy under observation for many years, or he's just a guy who just wants to see what happens when some new stimuli happen to his patient.
and he's got
kind of,
stimuli out of
For
him
some
already.
reason, I feel like the latter is probably more likely.
Yes.
yeah. Henslow's going. Yeah. It's the cult's fault. It's depraved, fornicating in the name of their wicked god in groups. The drugs I've never even heard of and hurt each other's support. They're monsters.
Well, thank goodness that you put paid to their plans then.
Yeah, hopefully I did. I don't know if we succeeded. Somebody died. The monster just was there eating everyone, and then it was gone.
Could you just? I mean, this may be a poor question, but could you describe? You said you had many mouths, but anything else?
I'm going to actually stop you halfway through.
Yeah,
that.
the doctor will step in at this point. Yeah.
But
I think we've bothered Mr. Henslow a bit too much for now.
I think that's a fair point.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Good.
Yes,
Yeah.
we'll be sure that Miss Winston Rogers receives this news so that she can find peace.
Excellent. Yeah.
Sorry, it's just saying. Does he look like he's basically just old and frail, or does it look like there's something more wrong with him?
It's not even frail. He's just aging and,
He just hasn't
he's
been
balding.
able to keep up, his appearance and all that because he's been stuck in a.
So he looks. Okay, so nothing unexpected.
Yeah, not untoward.
No.
I mean, 0 point
Nothing
medicine.
untoward.
He looks like he's just old man who's been stuck in a room too long.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, sir. Well, thank you.
Now then, about those records.
Oh, it's fine. Yeah, that was interesting. Buying into the mythos is something that I have not actually seen. Having outside groups done. Yes. I wonder if that would work on Job.
Sorry,
mean,
on that time. Mr.
Job is one of these cultists that Mr. Henslow raves about.
Yes, he was brought in around the same time. Yeah, so we have to keep them separated because, he can provoke, not violence, but he will disturb him. Having people there, but yeah, we've been doing good work with him as well.
it would seem that we'd probably be bad blood between the two, if anything, and even without cultish ravings, he could be just a bad.
Gunshots and fire will tear people apart.
Yes.
That they will.
And that is the lesson of the Great War.
Sure enough.
We wish that.
I'd be willing to sit on an interview if you'd like to do one.
Would you object,
Yeah,
actually?
well,
Because
try.
Now,
the more we can give...
Edgar is a slightly more fragile case. Douglas is doing a good job. He's making great strides in realizing that he's insane. But there's this core belief that it actually happened. Edgar is a lot more fragile.
Just before we go in, do you mean in the sense that he doesn't just think it happened, still convinced of it? Or
He's believing it's not real now, but I don't want to push him too far So if you could act as if you didn't believe it exists, you're just looking up for like research. I'd like to see his response to an external. We haven't had anyone external with him for a long time, so I'd like to play along those lines. But I don't want you to play that you think this is real in any shape or form. It can really damage his recovery.
Well, simply ask what he saw.
Yeah, yes. That's I kind of want to see where his mind state is. It'd be very useful for me as a physician.
We can help.
I'll make sure I'll shut.
All right. So, just have the room rearranged, and you're kind of like battering around, and I'm going to flick back a little bit.
Excuse me, Doctor, can I smoke? May I smoke?
Well, this is the 1930s. We've probably all been smoking this whole time.
Yeah, it's not
I
going to
mean,
stop smoking.
They might not want you smoking in the asylum just for...
Yeah, it's just in the asylum, we try and... There's some people who say it's not good for you.
Well, it
it's
might also just irritate the patients.
Yes, we try not to give the patients what they can't have. Some of the medication, we don't like to mix it.
Prudent.
I'm just talking like it would make them cough a lot.
Alright. So, Tullius.
Yes.
As you're waiting in the room for them to reset, you'll notice something in the corner of the room. There's a patch of water damage, or something like that. And as you're kind of like, you're just drawn to it, you kind of see the wall split. And a mouth, like a human mouth, kind of appears. It's jaundiced, its lips are brown, the teeth are broken. It's kind of muttering inaudible words. So this is a 3-point mythos stability check.
Okay.
So this is a difficulty 5 check. Huh?
Sorry, I interrupted you.
So difficulty 5.
Difficulty 5, okay.
Sorry, this target's just ablative, right?
Just ablative. He's the only one who spotted it.
Okay.
It tells me to call out the person with the highest occult skill.
Highest what?
Of course it does.
Yeah.
And so
what's the
I
skill?
either it's a 5+ or a 6+.
5 plus.
5
5
plus, and I can spend stability points to increase my roll.
Yeah.
I do apologize for that. I didn't hear.
Go ahead and spend, I think. What do y'all think? 2 or 3?
I think at least two.
It's a 3-point stability test, so it's not going to drive you insane. It's just knock your stability down. It's being a mythos means it's harder to resist.
It's not like he's going to get like the Cthulhu cancer in his brain or some of this.
No,
Yeah.
this is just this is much weirder than. So normal stability checks are the things that will shock you day to day. Mythos are the completely weird stuff that shouldn't be happening. Therefore, they're harder to rationalize and
I think I'm still
shrug
going to
off.
spend 2 on it.
All right.
Spend 2, save 1. Stability refreshes. Fucker.
Right. Lose
2,
5.
save none.
Lose 5 stability?
Yep, because you spent 2,
5-point check.
and then you lose 3 for failing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm at 1 stability now.
Ooh.
This is why having like a higher stability is pretty important.
Yeah.
And this is why betting against stability is like. I mean, it's not a bad thing because it would have been 3 in the first place.
Yeah. So there's a mouth kind of like in the wall talking. You can't hear the words. What do you do?
Probably back the fuck away very quickly.
As you do that, it shuts and then just vanishes.
I pat you on the shoulder. Good, so you're still using a ghost. Cigarette.
You know, he'll actually take you up on that.
Jolly good.
Did you see an apparition?
They don't exist.
It's being here in these. It's never really good to be around people who
It's nothing. Just
changed mind.
Well, sanatoriums are reservoirs of psychic energy.
My dear man, are you going to say this every time?
He's just going to go back to his seat or wherever we're waiting as they're rearranging the room. And he is going to very pointedly not look at the stain anymore.
Yeah, good choice.
And one last time, Gray, I was just curious. What skill did he get picked on for having again?
Occult.
Oh, he had the highest occult. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah,
Makes
having
sense.
occult.
There are traps in these type of games.
Mm.
Naturally.
Traps for people who are metagaming.
Yeah. Oh, you've just pumped a huge amount into your cult, so you're amazing. Guess what? You're going
I
to get
have
it early.
2 occults.
I know it's not for you, but there's some people who'd like, I'm going to be a character with 8 occult. They'll be amazing at the occult. Oh, God.
You've,
I'm going to
you've
make a
accidentally stepped
character
on the
who's
landmine.
amazing at occult, and then they die in an asylum because the wall started talking.
I'm just curious what traps may be laid for people with accounting.
The numbers are in fact actually like Black Ops 2 numbers. They've got a secret message in them.
Yes.
Right. So,
Alias, what are they?
at this point, Edgar Job will be rolled into the room.
Oh my.
He's skinny, stubble all over his face and scalp. Looks like a prisoner of war.
Even he has a cigarette.
Yeah.
Yep.
He smells like
does.
cigarettes and mouthwash. Yeah. Okay, so yes, you are allowed to smoke. It's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm lined up again.
Yeah. He smells like cigarette and mouthwash. He smokes constantly if you allow him. Which, seeing, one of you smoking, that's not a big problem.
So I'll step forward and introduce myself. Hello, good sir. I'm Arbitus Tobin. I'm going to write a book about encounters people have had with things inexplicable, and I've heard you have quite a story to tell about Los Angeles in 1924.
He is desperate to put stuff in the book, as it will be
Yeah,
very
Dr.
short
Keaton
otherwise.
doesn't want me to relive those days or, externalise my fear. He doesn't want me talking about the monsters unless they're me.
Well, just tell us what you saw. Maybe it was probably a dream or a hallucination, but still, your account would be very valuable.
Yeah, Dr. Keaton leads over. It's okay, Edgar. You can answer their questions. This is just, research on, beliefs. Oh, okay. I'm on 9 different pills. They're not big. The blue ones, the red ones, the capsules, the rest are, it's just pills. So it's all Buzzy is kind of pressing on his forehead as he's doing this. It's like a single finger.
Take your time. Choose your words carefully.
Oh, yeah. I'm not supposed to ask what happened that night about Henslow's friends, about Ishavara. I'm not ready yet.
Well, why don't you tell us what you were doing before the incident? We understand you were part of a group that had interest in the occult.
Oh, yeah, we didn't have a name, we're just introverts, people. Cult's a good word as anything, I guess. Many months at UCLA. George answered, I think George Avery, he is. Well, I can hear his voice, can't remember his name though. Still hazy.
Is there anything for Streetwise? Because this man, they were saying that they were slinging a drug of some sort.
You're desperate to get a Streetwise roll.
No, there's nothing.
Okay.
He's doing interviewing. Enterava, he was a real name. That was his real name. Hell of a library, creepy books. Gave his ideas things to do, sexual things to say out of the books. Through damn crazy parties, sex, drugs. I was basically high from 1923 to about August 24. So memory's not good, remember lots of sex, lots of drugs, and Javara got us all the potent stuff. Promised us it all, promised us power, said power.
Okay.
Power all the time. Said we get whatever we wanted in the new time when Golgoroth was here. Called in the fish from outside for some reason. This is what I wanted.
I understand. Someone took advantage of you. You were young.
Yes. Kind of looks up at Fortunato. Sorry, I can't pronounce your name. Fortunato.
Or Fortunato.
Fortunato?
Fortunato.
Yeah.
So are those cigarettes? I don't get many cigarettes here.
Yeah, they are. Unfortunately, they're the one a very cheap brand. These new Marlboros. If you would
Oh.
have one.
Yeah. You kind of like you
Uh,
puts one down.
Would the doctor? Is it okay, doctor? Would you say?
Oh yes, fine.
I
Cigarettes are the only thing that calm him, so we don't tend to limit them.
I give him a cigarette and I flick open my Zippo and give him a light.
I should note that in the 30s, Marlboro was actually advertised as a woman's.
Camels. Then how about that?
Beggars can't be choosers.
This is true.
Look, I can only buy cheap cigarettes these days.
Yeah. This one guy with a shotgun just blew Enchivaro away. Shot him right down, stabbed him in the chest with this big ugly knife of Enchivoro's. Stabbed him a few times to get away. Wasn't sure he was going to kill me, so I had to get away. Yeah, that's wrong. I can see his face every night. Can't do it. Best if I just move on. That's what Dr. Keaton says.
Best to put these things behind us. Too. You can be easily trapped in the past if you don't look to the future.
Yes, that's what I keep telling myself. This is the past. Most of what I saw was the drugs.
Do you have an idea of the location? I mean, it was some place in Los Angeles, but like
some farm on the outside. I don't know. They kind of drove us there. I didn't even know where it was. Put spells on us, or me, or the whole lot of us. Night and something. It was kind of big deal. He said he was going to summon the Fisher or the Thing or whatever showed up. Don't know what it's supposed to do, but I survived.
Mm-hmm. I mean, being attacked by a roaming gang of rogue investigators could do that.
Yeah, they weren't the worst of it though. It was that Thing. I only got a glimpse. With a fire, it was night. But it had long, weird limbs, no head, mouths, lots of mouths. Couldn't really make it out, but didn't really try. I was screaming. I was stabbing the guy. Vincent, I think his name was. Just kept stabbing, and then I ran into the fields. Whatever it was we summoned, it wasn't what we were promised, it wasn't what we said it would be. And that thing's still out there. At this point, he's kind of he's starting to get agitated, and Dr. Keaton kind of step in. It's okay, Edgar, don't have to say any more. You're doing well. Remember, it's not real. It's all the drugs in your mind and traumatic experiences. So, I think we're done. Thank you very much. I'm sure this has been very useful to the people.
It has, thank you.
Yes, I'll be sure to give you a credit in my book.
Who are you talking to, Dr. Keaton or the...
Edgar.
Yeah. He just goes, no, don't mention my name. No, it's fine. I'm already in enough trouble. And yeah, he would kind of go out and he was just like, can I have another cigarette?
I will throw him one.
Thank you. And he'll put his stick of that in. He's now smoking 2 cigarettes at once.
As a man who...
Wait, did he light one cigarette with the other cigarette?
I hope so.
I have. As a man who once smoked once upon a time ago, I have done that.
Dear God, Discard, I didn't know you were that trashy.
Ow! Ow!
Rude.
At least he said a long time ago.
Yeah,
Well,
you're the one who brought it up. I'm just pointing out that's trashy as fuck.
Sorry, out of character, can I just pick up on something? I've been writing Go. What was the name of the judge that he mentioned?
Judge.
Yeah, I thought you meant, he mentioned UCLA and then Judge Avery or something. I may have misheard that.
Oh, George. George Avery or George Ayers, he said.
Gotcha.
And the UCLA
Are
thing?
you the one who's collating our dramatis personae then?
I've just been using the notes page at the back of a character sheet to just imitate writing case.
There is a notes thing for in the top right if you want to take down names and such.
Yeah, I've been writing some down.
Oh, thank you, Eddie.
Should have shared it, so...
Just click the public in the top right.
It is public.
Okay, yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yes,
Other
it's
people are
definitely
doing
something you
useful
want to be
things.
taking notes.
Well, thank you for your time. Thank you too, Doctor. Appreciate we've been a bit.
Right. Right,
And now the records.
now the records. Okay.
Unless you have
Okay,
any
okay.
other cultists you'd like to introduce us to.
No, it's just the two, and that was very illuminating. I mean, it does seem they are very similar. There's a few discrepancies, but yeah, for people who only met once, they have a very similar story. There must have been something quite odd that happened that night to form such a weird, like a monster with many mouths. I mean, come on.
I mean, it clearly seems like both sides were trying to kill the other.
Yes, whatever happened, there was definitely some bad blood. We wonder if it was gang related. They mentioned drug trading. We don't know that much. Because is his name Walter Winston?
Yes.
In pharmaceuticals, we never know. There was a sideline in there of less respectable drugs. I've never would think about pursuing that line, but that's all we can think. Or maybe he was somebody cleaning up a mess of somebody using his company for ill-gotten means.
That I believe.
Yeah. Anyway, the files. So, here we go. And you'll just go I'll just be doing a little bit of paperwork in the corner. Feel free to take your time going through them.
All right. What do we got?
So, alright. I assume you're not looking at Culver's files.
I mean, we should probably pull him just for deniability.
Yeah. Culver's your pretty standard psychotic. He's on enough medication that normally he's like docile, but he has episodes. He's been having them all his life.
Should I spend bureaucracy to get us the interesting stuff, like out of the organizational system?
Is it an option to spend?
That's why I
No,
was
you don't.
asking.
No, these are core clues, so you don't need to spend.
Ah, nice.
So, medicine or pharmacy?
I have my.
Which will go. Yep. Okay, so the medications that Douglas Henslow and Edgar Job are on are there to relax and subdue. They cause grogginess, make the user friend more pliant, but make his memories more fuzzy. Not commonly heavy doses or unusual, but it's clear that they've been kept disorientated so they aren't overwhelmed by their memories. The records show that they've had confrontation therapy, been put in the same room, seemingly by chance, to see what their interactions are. When they're both on their full medication. But they did amount to little more than a vague recollection of wary anger and a desire to enter the encounter, which is Dr. Keaton's words. When they're allowed to interact off their medications, they eyed each other angrily, and EJ rushed the H1 screaming, "You tried to kill me, but I'm still here," over and over. So, on their medications, fine. Off their medications, not so much. You do find the book he mentioned, which is describes them as a richly entwined delusions of psychosis. Maybe just a chapter. A note in the margin could be "My Glimpse of Madness." Which, anyone got anthropology?
I have a
No.
point in anthropology.
Yeah. That's a sensational ethnography of a sanitarium in California.
I'm sorry, what was that?
A sensationalist ethnography of a sanitarium in California.
Okay.
Now, there's a note in Job's file says that he wrote a letter to the state of California to petition to keep him there as treatment at Joy Go's expense, rather than transporting him to prison in California. The preliminary reply says it is kept in the file as long as Joy Grove. He can stay there as long as Joy Grove can afford to keep him.
Now this is who's keeping the cultists here, right?
Yes,
I just got back. I'm sorry. I had a phone call.
it's okay. So yeah, basically you found his notes. They're dangerous on medications, but okay off the medication, but okay on. And yeah, there's a note that his job would be sent to prison, but he can be kept here as long as the Joy Grove can afford to keep him here. So he's being kept here at the expense of Joy Grove.
Who is Joy Grove? Is that a? Oh, this
The
is
sanitarium.
that's
This is
the
the sanitarium. Yeah.
okay. So basically, they pawned them off on the sanitarium.
Yeah.
Well, no, the sanitarium bought him off somebody.
They bought him off.
Oh.
The sanitarium are keeping him out of the prison for the murder. But they have to pay to keep him out. Otherwise, he's
The
going to go straight.
justification being that he's still a dangerous criminal.
Yeah.
Well, he's a murderer, so
All right. So, if Fortunato's looking at these,
Okay.
yeah, you'll notice
look at use
But
accounting, Greg.
accounting.
Accounting.
Yep. This is again core, so you don't have to pay anything for it. Henslow's monies is not just paying for his treatment as well. Some of it is being siphoned off to pay for jobs.
Jobs.
Edgar Jobs, the cultists.
Okay.
So basically, they're using the money paid for Henslow to keep the cultists here as well. Because the money for California ran out in 1931.
Okay, so
Doesn't look like this is being reported to the Henslows though.
Okay, so I'm gonna go and need to make. So is Henslow the only? Is there anyone else who we could tell who besides Henslow that we could talk to this about? Because
Possibly the
double
butler. Like,
Yeah, the groundskeeper.
yeah, there's a housekeeper for the old Henslow estate. We can chat to
Yeah.
her about.
There's always the mother.
Yeah, true. She's written, but still cogent as far as.
Yeah.
I will make a note of this that Henslow estate being used to pay for cultists.
Yeah, because that's probably about a good time to wrap it up with your finishing your trip to the Joy Grove. All right. So no one went mad.
Except
good goal.
Very-
It was close.
Close.
we learned the one thing about stability in this game, and that is it is a betting game that you're going to lose hard.
Yeah,
I should have known damn well that I was not going to make a 5+ on
Yeah,
it.
if you spent one more point, you would have gone mad.
Oh,
Yeah.
you would use
Well-
zero. Zero stability doesn't really hit. It's only when you go like in the negatives that you really
I
start.
think it's
Oh,
like
is it?
minus 12 or something like that.
Okay, well, surely it's not good to hit 0.
Start
Yeah.
at 0, you start taking negatives, so you start fucking up even harder.
Yeah. So yeah, it's one of those. Once you get past 0, you start really pushing down.
Yeah, we need
It's like Call of Cthulhu with the percentile that the lower your sanity gets, the more likely you are to fail. So, but yeah, you did well. You covered everything. You got the core close.
I'm
Didn't
wondering.
have to prompt you too much.
I'm hoping one day having accounting will drive me mad. I say. You know what? I could probably
All right.
just be trying to deal with California tax law.
God, so
So yeah, hopefully everyone enjoyed that.
certainly did. Thank you.
It's
All right. So yeah,
to have an actual full narrative game, more narrative game with the pre-written stuff.
yeah, it's nice to have a change.
Yeah.
I should try and do it more
We
myself.
actually shut up occasionally to let you talk, Greg.
I know.
A little bit sometimes.
Yeah. All right.
I
So
will
for the
say, it's pretty obvious when you're reading off the script. Though.
yeah, no,
I
I
mean,
can't do
yeah.
anything about that.
I mean, is there no wrong with that? It's well written.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I think
No, I
it's
mean, it's... Yeah.
It's interestingly written.
Yeah, I'm not an actor. I can't do that.
There. I mean,
Spence
you're
is putting on an interesting accent.
For a while, so
Yeah. I can barely talk legibly half the time anyway. With stupid list.
I do like the fact that I can be quiet. I'm staying quiet in this campaign.
I was under the impression that you were only really quiet because you were away for some.
That awayness was a very short amount of time.
Anyway.
It does feel like everybody is just waiting until they become relevant. You know?
Yeah, it's early stages for that. This is kind of like the ground settings. It should hopefully start feeling a bit more proactive later on.
It's after we probably learn that something we get to the LA we learn there is a whole new cult branched off, and then we could start jumping around the pyramid.
Yeah, because at this point you're very much on railroads for the first act.
True.
So this is 3-act structure. The first act is very much on railroads. The second act you'll have a lot more freedom. But
That
the first act and second act
feels like it's a good way to do it. You get introduced to the states and all that, and then you get to fuck it up yourself.
Yeah. And then the third act is, again, back to quite tight narrative for the last bit of it.
And
depending on how badly you fucked it up, it might go better.
Yeah. And we have a running theme of many mouths, as they talk about mouths, the cultist talks about the mouths creature, and then our good friend Tulsa gets to be punished for having 2 whole occults ranks of occult.
Did you call me Tulsa?
You told us, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to stop the recording now.
Oh, I thought you already had.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, same.
I've been trying to get the word in edgeways. It's fine. So yeah, if you want to go and want this, please hit subscribe. That's the only time I'm going to bother you. All right, thanks for watching.
Sold out, Gray.
Hasta.